Hey everyone, this video tutorial will explain what the Starlink UI Starter Kit is, how to set it up, as well as what kind of useful tools you can find inside. Starlink is actually a name of a game that I released for Android and iOS about 2 months ago, and this kit features the user interface taken directly from the game. So all the code and all the features you see inside have been already battle tested for you. Well, let's get started. First thing I should do is import the actual package. Unfortunately, as soon as I do that, you might notice that there are a lot of errors in the console log. That's because NGUI is missing. We should import the next. I am not going to be importing the examples folder because examples are not needed. As soon as the import process finishes, you will notice that the errors disappear as well. The kit comes with two scenes. There's a game scene and then there's a menu scene. Let's start with the menu scene first. Now, there are some things that we should do before moving forward. If you select one of the elements, you will notice that the layer that they're on is actually empty. That's because the layers do not carry over in Unity packages. So layer 8 is called distant. Layer 9 is called 2D UI. And layer 10 is 3D UI. Now if you actually select them again, you'll notice that they show up correctly. You should also open up the build menu and add game scene and menu scene to the list of scenes. Now at this point you can hit play and see what happens. If you happen to be on an Android or iOS platform, you'll notice that the profile button is grayed out and there's a message here telling you that you need Wi-Fi. That's because in options you actually have to enable carrier data. Once you do that, the news will show up and the profile will no longer be grayed out. Just to give you a quick overview of all that's available in the package, is you get a way to specify your profile name. You got an ability to upgrade the game, because by default it is a light version of the game. Certain features are not going to be available in the light version of the game. For example, Direct Connect is not available until you actually upgrade. You got a statistics page, which actually pulls live data from the server and allows you to sort it by column, see where the player is at. And you've got the ability to go into the game scene itself, which features a UI element for showing a player level and progression, and the chat window. And that's about it. Now the entire game happens to be localized, so all the text you see in the game can easily be changed because it comes from a text file. If you navigate to options and check the caps checkbox, you'll notice that the game starts yelling at you. The reason for that is because now all this text data actually comes from a different localization file. Anyhow, one of the most useful things about this kit, in my opinion, is actually the window transition framework. How it actually transitions from one window to the next, and how it actually remembers a history, allowing you to navigate back. This is actually facilitated by pretty much a single script, UI window button. Simply attach it to a button and specify which window it is supposed to open or which action to actually perform. Show will hide the window that you specified. Hide will hide the window. Go back will navigate to the previous one. Fairly straightforward. In short, this UI kit is actually full of useful components like the UI window button that are small in scope, but they're also really useful. Take the news script for example. It's a really small and short, and it's straight and to the point. But it actually allows you to download news from somewhere on the internet and display it in a text field. What this essentially allows you to do is not just display news about your game without having to upload a new binary, but it actually allows you to cross-promote your new games within the old games without having to put up a new build. Scripts like Wi-Fi required will allow you to easily block some buttons unless the user happens to be connected to Wi-Fi. Other useful things, like a full access flag within the player profile, for example, allows you to code components that will do one thing if the player has a full version of the game and something else if the player does not. For example, this light checkbox here will only show up if I have a light version of the game, so like a shareware or a demo version, whatever you want to call it. And if I upgrade, you will notice that it's actually gone, and the next time I play the game it will also disappear. It will not be here anymore. And you will notice that the stars have also disappeared from the buttons because I now have a version of the game giving me full access to all the game's features. Other scripts, like the UI limited saved option, for example, allows you to limit the selection of a pop-up list to fewer choices if the game happens to be a light version. So for example here, only small and medium are allowed if the version of the game happens to be light. So if I try to select something else, like a large for example, it'll give me the locked option and prompt me to upgrade. If I do upgrade, then all of them are going to be selectable. Power saving mode in options allows you to limit the frame rate to 30 if it's on, or release the limit, make it go up to 60 if it's actually off. But it will only work if the VSync is turned off in quality settings. A power saving mode option is actually really useful to have on mobile devices, as it prevents them from draining the battery. Other useful components include the game audio script that makes a game object always follow the main camera, which is useful to have if you happen to have music playing in one scene and you don't want it to get interrupted when you go into another scene. And then there's the real-time script that allows you to do real-time.time or real-time.delta time, the same way you can with the time.delta time, for example. Little things like that. And if you happen to have TNet, then there's even more content. If I import TNet into the package, and then I import the TNet integration script, then I'm going to have even more content. Namely, multiplayer. But before I can actually use multiplayer, I need to go to Build Settings, Player Settings, and allow it to run in the background, which is this checkbox right here. Now I can actually build a new client and start up the game on two computers. So here I am going to host a new server by going into LAN. I can actually see the server here. So I will create a new game as Aaron. Here I'm actually going to change my name. I can actually see the game. I'll join it, and here we are. Well, that's the gist of it. There are more scripts, of course, quite a few more. But I'll just let you explore them all, or just go through the rest of the documentation. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome day.